The system is rigged. The little guy can't get ahead. Have you ever heard mentalities like that? They are so wrong. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. The system is rigged in your favor. To add a little more context here, this is the assumption that you live, in the United States or more so a developed country. But if you do, then I'm sorry, but you have zero excuses because the system is literally rigged for you. The system is rigged to make you a millionaire, to give you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that is a fact. That's not theory. All it is past history and mathematics and the way it works. So what exactly am I talking about? What do I mean that the system is rigged in your favor? Well, really it comes down to two things. The first thing is, out there we have this thing called the stock market. And over time, so this will represent time, and we'll just use, right here, 100 years. What goes on with the stock market? Well, over time, and I'm emphasizing that because it's not like any of this is going to happen within like a week or a year or anything like that. But historically speaking, the stock market does stuff like this. It goes up and up and up. And I'm not going to give you figures, but you are more than welcome. If you don't believe me, just run a Google search for, past 100-year stock market history, track record of the stock market, historical returns of the stock market, any sort of derivative of, just implying what is the stock market returned. Do that. Go do your own research and you'll see lots of various figures, but the point being, every single figure you will see implies that the stock market has gone up over time. And this, there's all sorts of stuff. There's world wars factored in here. There's economic crises figured in here. 9/11, factored in here. And yet, over time, things start to go up. So that's the first thing about how the system is rigged for you, especially, in the United States. So if you're in the United States, then you literally have no reason not to eventually have hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not be a millionaire. Because the other factor here that needs to be addressed is this beautiful concept called compounding interest. Maybe you've learned about this in school, but it's probably one of the best mathematical concepts, practical mathematical concepts. What do you need the tangent for anyways? Cosine? I don't know, maybe a builder needs that. But actually, compounding interest is something that benefits everybody in a very real, in a very practical way. And this is how. When you get involved in the stock market and you let time do its thing, the way compounding interest works, good things happen. Again, who is this guy? That's fine. You don't have to believe me. Again, run a Google search, compounding calculator. Just do that, and then start to type in numbers. And those numbers that you type in, pretend like that's money that you could be putting in, and watch what happens to those numbers. It's quite interesting what can happen. And as far as it being rigged in your favor, here's another example of it being rigged in your favor. Quick little history lesson. About 10 years ago, when the real estate bubble popped, the financial bubble popped, there were bailouts that happened, meaning the government came in and they started throwing a bunch of money at stuff. It happened in the auto sector, happened with a bunch of banks. And I'm not trying to get political here, whether or not you think that was right, whether or not you think that was wrong. The point here is the government did that because the stock market was starting to spin out of control. And when things spin out of control and people start to lose their retirements, people start to lose all their savings, people get mad. People start to riot. Governments don't like mobs in the street. So the government stepped in and they stopped the bleeding. Again, whether or not you think that was right or wrong, that's not the point here. My point is that the government literally stepped in to rig the system in the favor of the stock market. That's why you need to be involved in the stock market, because it is rigged in your favor. Eventually, government will step in if they can in order to ensure things don't spin out of control. Well, how do you get involved? This is not an investing video or anything like that. I do offer an investing course. I'll put a link down below that if you're interested, because there is more to it than get involved in the stock market. I mean, you got to do it in a smart way, in a strategic way, and that's what that course covers. But my principle here that I'm trying to get across is there's no excuse. Things are rigged in your favor. But how do you get involved? Well, you need to first just have money. So it all starts with you got to save money. So that's where you better have a budget in place. You better actually be able to save money. And if you can save money and not go squander it away on who knows what could, a million things out there you can waste your money on. And I'm not saying you can't have fun in life, but save some money, get it involved in the stock market, which tends to go up over time, and let compounding interest work. And then guess what happens? You're going to have a lot of money. Now, the key thing here, and I don't want to come across as all like I'm trying to spew out some get rich quick system. This all happens over a lifetime, over years and years and years. So it's not like I'm 20. By the time I'm 25, I can have millions of dollars. That's not what I'm saying. If you want to do this right, if you want to do this in a way that's been proven via past history data and then compounding interest, it is going to take years upon years upon years to work in your favor. But this whole I'll never be able to get ahead in life. Yeah, you can. The first step in getting ahead in life is actually being able to save some money. And if you have struggle saving money, well, there's many different things you can go, whether that's a new job, maybe you got to do some cost cutting, stuff like that. I also do offer a personal finance course if you're curious, how I personally paid off over $160,000 in debt, and then how I manage my finances. So if you're curious in that, again, I'll put a link down below with the investing course. But at the end of the day, I don't want to hear your excuse. You don't have an excuse assuming you live in some, developed country, especially the United States, which has a track record of bailing out companies. Why do they bail out companies? Because they want the stock market to keep on going up. Because when stock markets are going up, people's retirement accounts are going up. And when people have money and they see their money growing and growing and growing, people are happy. And when people are happy, they're not going to be out in the streets as mobs revolting against the government. So it benefits the government to make sure over time this will go up. There will be down sections, but over time it goes up. And if you need to brush up on compounding interest, go and do that, because I think those numbers will get your eyes bulging quite a bit. But no excuses. The system is rigged for you to become very successful over time. Thanks for watching the video. If you are interested in the top 10 links that I use on a daily basis to manage, to control, and to build my finances and to make them efficient as possible, then down below in the description, if you're watching this on YouTube, description, if you're watching this on moneywithclay.com, then just down below the video, you can click on the link and that'll take you to these links that I use on a daily basis that really allow me to work smarter and not harder.